It's the Southern Senpais Show, where small-town Southerners explore big-time Japanese entertainment, anime, manga, and everything in between. Here's your hosts, Nicholas and DJ.
What's going on, y'all? This is Nicholas.
I'm DJ.
And we're two Southern guys exploring Japanese culture together. What are we talking about today, DJ?
Today we're talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners, yeah. So
Yes.
You had recommended this anime.
Somebody DM'd us, and I said, oh, okay. After they DM'd us, I was like, oh, maybe we should check this one out. It came out last year. I didn't get a chance to see it when it came out, so this was like a good excuse to watch it. Yeah, it's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. And I thought it was pretty good. It's very interesting to see, first of all, Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of really great stuff.
Makes incredible amount of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what's really interesting about this one is that it's based off a video game. I haven't really seen a lot of animes based solely from a video game. There's no manga or anything.
No, whenever you had recommended this to me, I remember the video game, and I remember like the big...
It wasn't me. It was the person who DM'd us, and I was like, oh, we should do this.
And I remember Keanu Reeves was part of Cyberpunk. The video game. But didn't it take a decade or 8 years to come out?
It took forever. There's a whole bunch of production snags, and then on top of that, it was like, when it came out, it was like super buggy. Yeah.
But anyways, when I started watching the anime, I was like...
I think the anime is a prelude to the video game, actually.
I was very surprised by how great this anime was.
Oh my god.
Incredibly surprised.
Oh my god, it's awesome.
And I remember going to work and being like, I'm in Cyberpunk.
Why?
Because it's the guy's like going to work and basically going to work, coming home,
going to school, yeah.
Trying to avoid things, trying to
avoid the bullshit of the world.
And people, just like anybody else, people shitting on them, people this, that, and the other.
Yeah, the Cyberpunk world was very interesting because I didn't get a chance I didn't play the video game because when it came out, everyone said it sucked ass. And then
that's why I didn't play it.
Yeah, I didn't play it. But then, the anime came out, I was like, oh, cool, whatever. But then I saw Studio Trigger was attached to it. I wanted to see it. I didn't get to check it out until recently. And when I was watching it, I was surprised about the production value. The story was really good. Spoiler alert for anyone watching. We are going to talk about the things that happened in the anime.
Right.
It's an anime review. You should know this. You should know that we're going to talk about what happens in it to review it.
How do you review something without spoiling it?
Yeah, I have no idea. So, I think one of the things that was the most interesting was like how they developed the world. So they're already building off of an IP, but it feels like it's different. Because since I've seen the anime, I have gone back and taken a look at the actual video game, and it seems different. Like a lot of the things, it's like you still have people who suffer from cyber psychosis, so they go like crazy and stuff like that. You still have some of the same elements, but it feels like more in depth.
It seems to have taken some inspiration from Star Wars as far as the building of the city.
You think so?
Yeah. In Attack of the Clones, you see there.
You know, it was like a space city.
Yeah.
They look the same.
Yeah, Night City is I'm not going to say it's a direct comparison, but I could definitely see some similarities.
Yeah.
Same thing with if you looked at Samurai Jack, and you could also say that's how futuristic cities are shown, but those are the two that I was like, oh, these...
It's a futuristic, cyber-looking city. One of my favorite parts about the city was like the place where he lived. It was just so fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
It was nasty. And honestly, I see there's a lot of parallels between now and what happens in their world. I can totally see landlords being like, oh, you didn't pay rent? Sorry, you can't come inside.
Right, and he's like busting through the side chute, be like, yeah, especially now with the economy and the way everything is, you have a mom that's basically never there because she's like busting her ass to
keep him in this private school. The main character's name is David Martinez.
Yeah, David Martinez.
A lot of, you can tell that when the production has a lot of international people in it working on it because the characters will often be more diverse. Not that, to be fair, a lot of anime characters seem just like white people.
Right.
I think they're supposed to be Japanese, but they're not really drawn that way. They have like, these larger eyes and stuff like that.
Plus, the haircut's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool haircut.
His hairdo is pretty. I don't see a whole lot of Japanese cartoons, anime, where the hair is like that.
I think you think it's because he's Hispanic, or you think it's because of the cyber world?
I think it's a bit. I think it's a mix of both.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have to say though that I really liked whenever he beat the shit out of that kid.
Which you got to be more specific.
The first kid.
Oh, the first one. All right. So basically,
gets him kicked out.
It starts off where it's classic anime stuff. His life sucks. I think that's just like basic storytelling at this point.
Right.
If your life doesn't suck, sorry, I can't like this protagonist.
Right.
Sorry, your life has to suck.
I got to see the struggle.
Right. So his life sucks. He's super poor, and his mom works her ass off to make sure they have anything at all. She does all these shifts. And it's still
not enough.
Yeah, and it's still not enough.
He goes to the dock and he's, hey, I need the upgrade, and then he goes to school and he
upgrades his like learning gear because he tries to do it illegally because to actually pay for it would cost too much. And his mom says, "Oh, you should pay for it." And he goes, "We can't even wash our clothes. We can't even afford to get our clothes washed, and you expect me to do that? No." So then it kind of wrecks the whole system. Right?
Yeah, the whole system.
He wrecks the whole school system, and then his mom has to pay for it, which is also something they can't afford. So then she's driving home, scolding him, calling him an idiot like he obviously is. And he's, maybe I shouldn't go to school. Maybe I should just help go to work. And
maybe I should try and find a job.
Yeah, to help out, which is admirable. And then this car accident happens. Right? Yeah. So some gang, they're not trying to shoot their car, but their car is in the middle of them trying to shoot at another car.
Damage.
Right. They end up being collateral damage. And the car flips over. He gets stuck in the car. And then the ambulance shows up, right? Because his mom is outside the car. The ambulance shows up. But they go, "Oh, sorry, she doesn't have good insurance. Just leave her to die."
Just leave her to die.
I can totally see that happening.
Which is basically a really good allegory for our healthcare system here, which is if you don't have healthcare system, if you don't have insurance or anything like that, like just a while ago, I was trying to go see a doctor or something like that. And at first, I didn't have the health insurance because of a lapse or something like that.
Yeah,
and they were
sometimes it has those gaps in between when you renew it or something.
And so they didn't want to see me. They were like, "We don't accept anything. You're just going to have to basically screw off."
Yeah, and you're like, "I have insurance. It's like I'm in like a gap. I already paid it."
And then I went back and had the insurance and had to pay like $15 or something like that. They were like, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, they're super nice when you have money.
Yeah.
So when David decides to do like all this crazy stuff for money, you totally get it. Him not having money has not only killed his mom. I mean, at first they're like, "Oh, she's undergoing surgery in some backwater place because that's the one place they can afford," and then she ends up dying because he can't afford to keep her alive for too long.
And then they give him this canister to be like, "Here you go, here's your mom."
Yeah, here's your mom, dude. They already cremated her and everything. "Oh, here you go. You have to pay us for this can that your mom is. Congratulations." And it's actually really sad.
That's super sad. There was a story a while back where the city, I forget where it was, but the city bulldozed this person's house.
Yeah.
And then the guy was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And then the city tried to charge him for bulldozing his own house.
They bulldozed it by accident, and they tried to make it seem like he wanted that to happen for some reason.
But anyway, so the guy's just sitting there just...
Oh, also, he gets made fun of, bullied at school by the other... So he's the only poor kid there. His mom pays all this money for him to go there. It was part of the reason why they're poor. And all the rich kids can afford to go there. So they all have these Cybertronic upgrades. And one of them beats the crap out of him with these Cybertronic upgrades. And I was just like, these are like your typical bullies that just want you to leave, basically, just because he's poor. And yeah, he tries to sell this like spine upgrade that can make you move really fast. And it doesn't work at first. But then after his mom dies, he's like, "I just have to chrome up."
The thing is that he sits there and talks to the doc, and the doc's, "Oh, okay." He wants to offer him like $8,000 to $10,000 for the Chrome upgrade, and he's like, "This is premium tech. You're gonna give me more than that." And then his mom dies.
It's military grade, yeah.
And his mom dies, and the doc's, "I'll give you like $6,000." He's like, "You were gonna give me 10 a couple days ago."
And then he's just, you know what? Screw it. Just like he basically gives up on his former life and just, you know what? I'm just gonna get revenge on the guy who also the bully. After the bully finds out that his mom dies, he calls him and then laughs about how his mom is dead.
Yeah.
First of all, I guess you can't refuse calls in the future. Why did you pick up in the first place?
Yeah.
Why would you
pick up that call?
It doesn't make any sense. And then the principal sees him beat up. So he gets the Chrome installment and he goes to school just to beat up that kid, which he does, who bullied him. And then instead of being like, he gets expelled, but then when they show it to the kid's parents, they're like, oh, we could use him for a secret experiment. To put him in this super powerful suit. Because he seems he's resistant to Cybertronics. So in this world, if you have too many Cybertronics,
you go into cyberpsychosis.
Cyberpsychosis, where basically you go insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like he might be resistant to it. But then he's on the train, and that's when he meets Lucy.
And then so basically he meets this super hot chick. Right. And finds out he's like a natural at it, and they go back to the hideout. She's
like stealing like stuff out of people's necks, which is weird.
It's really weird.
They like in the future they're inserting like chips into
Elon Musk has already got the Neuralink installed.
If you had to get something plugged into your neck, what would be the power? I don't even know what it's for. Like they just have shit just in their necks. Does it help you think? Does it? They never say what it is. All you know is it's worth money.
It's ambiguous.
They just, I got his neck chips. I did it.
I got money. And the money is called eddies.
Right, they're called eddies, which kind of sounds like pills.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I thought of Ed and Eddie, so.
What?
Because eddies. Ed and Eddie.
I know, I get it, but... Ed and Eddies?
Right.
In the future, that's right. In the future, the greatest cinematic work of Ed, Edd, and Eddy is number one. In fact, they love Ed, Edd, and Eddy so much, they named their currency.
Exactly.
After.
I get it. I understand it,
early
man.
2000s show.
I get it.
Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
But then he goes back to Maine, and...
He goes back to Lucy's place. He passes out because he used it too much.
Oh, that's right. And they go on their BD date.
Yeah, he passes out because they use it too much. She tries to take him to the hospital. And then the hospital, the ambulance person, tries to rob him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found out he has this cool spine thing. I'm going to steal it.
This is basically Gotham on steroids.
It's, Cyber Gotham on steroids. Yeah.
Cyber Gotham on steroids.
So then they go back. So then, they escape somehow. Well, his hospital bed's, literally in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, she does this crazy ninja judo stuff where she kicks the door open and now they're on the super highway.
Right, and the only way that she moves the car is by shaking her ass to the left or right.
Hey, man, I wasn't mad at it.
I mean, hey.
But, yeah, and then they get back to her place.
Yeah. And
pass out.
They get to the hospital. No, they get to Doc, the guy who put it in. And then they give him the eddies that they earned that day from stealing. To give him his psychosis medicine, which I always wondered what that was, that stuff that prevents you from being, I don't know, it's the future.
It's a serum. Serum type of
probably
thing.
Maple syrup, probably.
Maple syrup.
So then that's when Lucy betrays him. He goes back to her place, and it turns out that she's a Cyberpunk Edgerunner, and they go around doing crazy jobs, and the leader of this gang is called Maine, and he's gonna kill him, but then he finds out the person who he was working with was his mom. And he gives him a chance to join the crew and be cool.
Because originally, the reason why he wants to kill him is that he has his equipment
installed.
Maine was supposed to get David's equipment.
So then they go on various missions. I feel kind of like Rebecca does nothing but hit on him
the whole time.
There's this shorter cybernetic girl. All she does is hit on him and try to bang him the whole time, and he just doesn't care. He's so infatuated with Lucy, who he initially met, that he just does not care at all.
She also looks like she's 10 years old, and Lucy is supposed to be, I looked it up, Lucy's supposed to be 20 years old, so.
Yeah.
And David is 17, 18?
Yeah. Yeah, he's 17. No, Rebecca, she's of age, but she looks like a kid. So I can see why you wouldn't.
Anime logic. She's 400 years old, but she looks 8 years old.
For some reason.
Whatever.
And then they have her brother dies because they were messing with a cyber psychosis homeless guy.
Because the dude was pissing.
He would just pee.
And then the guy was like, damn, you chromed out your dick? That must have hurt like shit.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
And then he's hugging on
and
him
then
and
the dude
stuff.
goes...
It just blows his head off. And it's like, why? First of all, this man is peeing freely out in the street. Now, I don't know. I've never been to the cyberpunk future of 2077 in about 50 years. But what I do know is that, what if, God willing, if I'm still alive 50 years from now, I'm not just going to go up to a homeless man and start talking to him while he's pissing.
Especially when he's just...
Especially when he has someone who has chromed out their dick.
Yeah.
I feel like that person...
just needs to be left alone.
Just needs to be left alone in general. So he might have deserved it. A little bit. Maybe a little.
Maybe just a tad.
Yeah. So then, and then plus his like sister, Rebecca, then inherits his like cybernetic hands or something.
And then David doesn't want them. He was like, here, because Maine's, here you go, man. Here's some golden, chromed out cybernetic hands. And he's, nah, I'm good. He's like, seriously? He's like, these are super expensive.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, I got my eye on something else. And he's got his eye on Maine's hands.
Yeah, Maine's giant arms. They go on this one mission, and Maine starts to go into cyber psychosis where he beats the crap out of one of the other people.
I think it's Kiwi.
Yeah, Kiwi, one of the other Edgerunners. And so then Lucy has to step up and get into it. So basically, they had to plug into steal Mr. Tanaka's information, which ironically was the father of the kid he beat up.
Also, we're skipping over a major plot point, which is David gets laid before that.
Yes!
And Maine,
my man!
and Maine, he goes back and he sits up with Maine, and Maine's, hey man, you look a little different. You're normally a vibe killer.
You're right. And now you're nice and chill. You got some pussy, dude.
You got laid.
You got laid.
Yeah. And there's like, what? No, it's all good, man. Because initially, David and Maine have a conversation about, hey man, I'm surprised you ain't hit that yet. Or I'm surprised ain't nothing going on with you guys yet.
Yeah.
And David's basically saying, there's nothing going on because she won't let me.
It's not like I'm not trying. Yeah. And I really think I guess we could spoil the ending. I guess so. So.
But the showdown with the student who David beat up his dad, this dude had some crazy arsenal.
Yeah, he has a whole bunch of stuff.
And then what ended up happening is they were like, okay, we got to take this dude's data.
Yeah, and so Lucy jacks in to his data. And you also find out eventually that Lucy was part of this like secret government organization, because of course, that was like trained to steal net data. Right.
And they're exploring the old net.
Right, the old net, searching for data, which I don't know why you would do that, but
they were trying to look for lost knowledge. So there was a guy that was like this legendary hacker, and in one day he like destroyed like 75% of the net.
Yeah.
And then it fragmented itself into a bunch of different local nets.
Yeah, but I'm like, what do you think you're gonna get from this lost knowledge? It wasn't like they made them seem like they were doing something malicious. But there's nothing really malicious about seeking like regular. Their methods were malicious. They were killing children. That's pretty. I would say that. I would personally say that's pretty.
But that's pretty on par for anime.
So then they actually trick David into getting into the suit they wanted him to get into originally anyway. And David is already showing signs of like cyberpsychosis.
Oh yeah. The thing is, the first sign of cyberpsychosis. So first of all, we can't overestimate or look over when Maine dies, right? Because Maine doesn't have to die, right? No. Maine has basically said, hey, my old lady's dead. And
so, his right hand woman. Right.
She kind of looks like a man a little bit.
She's supposed to be like this super strong. They are banging. So I guess he doesn't think so.
But she kind of reminds me of Pink a little bit.
Like a super buff Pink.
Yeah.
Like a Pink with just like ripped. Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is shit goes wrong.
Because of course it does.
Because it's anime. And David and Lucy and David are in the car. And they're like, David's, I gotta go. And she's, no, it's done. It's over with. They're surrounded. Let's get out of here. And he's like, no, that's messed up. That's not how things should go. And she's, we can just run off. And he's like, look, I'll be right back. I'm coming back.
Because also, he's the only one with super speed. So he could possibly do that.
Right, and so they get there, and he's like, come on, man, let's go, this, that, and the other. And basically you find out listen, my old lady's gone.
And I'm crazy.
And that was really my only reason for living.
Right.
So now that she's gone, I'm tired of running. This is it for me. And he's, okay, cool. That's it for me too. And he was like, nah, you should go on and live your life.
But I get to die. If both of us die, it's not as cool. Right. I had to be the one to die. Don't take my shine, bro. Chill out with that. Let me get my moment.
Let me go out in a blaze of glory.
Right. If you're here, you're just going to be messing up my vibe, man.
But so then what ends up happening is then they do a typical like time skip, right? We don't know exactly how.
We're making it sound really funny. His death was actually pretty tragic.
No, it was.
His death was pretty emotional.
His death was really tragic. And also the thing is
you see a little glimpses of Maine's backstory. Like you have no idea where this guy is from or anything about him. But he's like a kid in the desert for some reason and stuff like that.
And then so you see that David gets out, but he also has something in his hands. And they just so happen to be Maine's hands because of what he wanted. Maine was like, hey, listen, if I flatline, they're all yours.
You just have them. But of course, he'd rather have Maine. He wouldn't rather have the fun.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's the time skip where then David becomes like super buff and he becomes super mech'd out.
Yeah. What's crazy is I thought it was a couple of years. It's actually only a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like 6 months or something like that. And I'm like, dang, dude, this guy like grew in height.
He grew in height and put on 60 pounds.
Yeah. Crazy.
But then that's just the chrome.
He had to, so that way they would fit. So then they go on different missions. Lucy has quit.
Because Lucy's like completely shaken up by the events. And also,
even though her and David still live together.
Right.
Like that.
Also, Lucy is naked a lot more after the time skip.
Just apparently going crazy. I don't like clothes anymore.
She just walks around just butt naked.
I was traumatized. I will no longer wear clothes. That's it.
Also, David doesn't look like he's got a dick.
Yeah, it's weird.
Does it just slip out or?
Would you get a cyber dick?
I don't know. I think that might be the one thing I.
It took so long to respond. You thought about it.
I did.
You thought about it.
Because if you ask every guy, hey, do you want a bigger dick? Do you want a better dick? There's no guy that's going to say
like,
no.
No, yeah. I don't know, man. Me and my guy, we've been so close for so long.
I don't think I could.
I don't think I could betray him like that. You know what I'm saying?
But he looked like a Ken doll down there. Now, he could have just...
Pretty sure it's some sort of... Probably comes out of a casing or something. I don't know. That's so weird. Anyway, so then they get this other job, and basically...
the thing is that his arm is shaking.
Because of the cyberpsychosis. And that's when they go into this job to Tanaka's dad. No, not Tanaka's dad, but the group Tanaka's dad was... Tanaka, actually. His name is Tanaka.
Yeah, his name is Tanaka.
Right, that Tanaka was with. They trick him into stealing this truck that has the thing they wanted him to get in the first place. And they're like, oh, okay. The only way... And they send the military after him. Like, the only way for you to survive is for you to put it on. And even Rebecca and everyone else is don't do it because, it's going to drive you insane. But he does it anyway to save him. And then Kiwi betrays them. Yeah, the whole reason they even got this is because Kiwi betrayed them. For money.
For money, but also because it's like, hey, if I don't, I'm just as screwed as they are.
But also for money.
And David at this point is basically, I know I'm going to die doing this.
Right.
So might as well just go all out.
And then Lucy, she wants to save him because she's, don't put on the machine because I know it's going to drive you crazy. So that brings her back out. And then they kidnap Lucy.
They fake it's Lucy. And then Lucy actually is, don't do it.
Yeah.
And then a while back, they have to hack in because Maine punched out Kiwi. And so what ended up happening is Lucy was like, tell David, I need you to say that you believe in me to do this. And then that's how they get David to get into the suit because Lucy's, I believe in you.
And so then because they fake and pretend that Lucy's telling him to get in the suit when she's not really. So then he gets in the suit. They trick him to get inside, and then he realized that he was played. Which also, he's lost his legs and his arms. He's basically only a torso now.
Yeah.
And a torso and a head. And they go to actually rescue Lucy, and then a character from the actual game shows up, Atom Smasher. Yeah. And Atom Smasher does what Atom Smasher does. He just demolishes everybody. And all this special, like, when he goes super speed, he has this, like, super, like, this, like, the world kind of, like, changes. And he goes, like, these fades. And then Atom Smasher can also do it, too. It's super dope. Although Rebecca got stomped out.
Yeah, dude. She got smashed.
Basically,
she was like, we're having a moment here. Bang!
Basically, everyone dies but Falco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lucy.
Yeah, Falco and Lucy. And then the ending in which Lucy is going on, as she finally makes it to the moon. But it doesn't matter. Because she's always wanted to go to the moon. That's been her lifelong dream. But now it doesn't matter because the people that she likes are gone.
Which I thought was even though the anime was fantastic, like, it's one of I think the last anime that I think was that good was, like, Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga was hype.
This one was also really fantastic, but also at the same time, the motivation, if you think about it, is really strange to go to the moon.
And it's not like the moon's inaccessible. It's basically a ticket. It's like a
because
ticket.
Because in one of the episodes previous, because David is getting closer and closer to psychosis, they show a commercial where it's, $250K to go to the moon, and he's, it's only $250K. Like,
they can afford to go anytime they want to, so it's, then why go now? I don't know. At the end, it was
there's a lot of people that don't particularly like the ending.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. David,
the rest of it's so good. Like, you give it a pass.
David was like, I'm gonna give my life for you to go complete your dream. Or
if everyone else is dead, what else does she have to do?
But
if I die and 12 other people die for you, you better at least go in the train. That's the least you could do is get in the fucking train and go to space.
Yeah, but the anime itself was phenomenal, man. And the fact that they weaved in the love story.
The animation's really great. The story is really great. Who was your favorite character?
Yeah, it was definitely Lucy.
Lucy?
Yeah.
I would have to say, I don't know, man. I think I am going to say Maine. Just because he's such a jerk.
His humanity was taken from him.
Yeah, and he's such a...
That's why Lucy was attracted to David to begin with. Because everybody around him is just like soulless psychopaths.
But that's the world that they live in.
Right.
And Maine even explains that to David, where he is, that's just the way it is. I wish it was different, but it's not. But Maine, he seems like a really solid leader. Like, when he tests out David, he's not pushing him because he believes that he can't do it. He's pushing him because he knows that he can.
There was this. It reminded me of this TV show. I forgot the name of it, but basically, it's like a cop show, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is there's a cop trainer, and he's really hard on this one woman. And then what ends up happening is there's a military veteran that comes in, and he's really nice to this woman. Right?
Yeah.
And then the original woman is like, why are you being so nice to her? You were so mean to me. He was like, because you're already a kind and caring individual. He said, she came from Afghanistan. He said, she's still fighting the battle in Afghanistan. He said, the difference is you already know that that you're kind and whatever. She doesn't. She still thinks that the world is Afghanistan. He said, so I have to help her out. I had to show you that the world is a cruel place.
I had to make you tough, and I had to make her soft. Exactly.
So that's basically the narrative that they're...
So what's your ranking then, out of 10?
I'd give it an 8.5.
Whoa, that's high for you, Nicholas.
Yeah.
That's really high.
Yeah.
That's like, what is that, a point under Gundam?
Yeah.
Dang, bro, that's high for you. I would say... Yeah. No, actually, no, I'll go with that. I'll go with
solid
like 8.5.
Solid, I'd say a solid 8.
You solid 8, I'm going to go 8.5. I thought it was really great. But hey, guys, this has been Southern Senpais. I'm DJ.
I'm Nicholas.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see y'all later.
This has been Southern Senpais on Comic-Con Radio. Check out our previous episodes. You can follow the show at Southern Senpais on all major social media platforms. Tune in next Wednesday for a fresh episode. Y'all come back now. You hear?